The fear of not being enough and the fear of being too much are exactly the same fear. The fear of being you. So I wanted to talk about being seen and the fear of being seen. I'm a very anxious person, and because of my anxiety, I find myself really hating even just existing in public spaces. Like, I will go out of my way to make sure that I'm alone for lunch just because I hate eating in front of other people, or I will take the path of most resistance just to avoid as many people as I can. I have a deep-rooted fear of being seen and being perceived as a existing human being, and that manifests in a lot of different ways for me, but especially in me not doing a lot of things to pursue the goals that I really want out of fear of having to deal with people. And that's a very vague thing, by the way, is what do you mean by having to deal with people? And I don't mean having to professionally deal with people, though that is part of it as well. I just mean I really hate anything that has to do with like a public persona or having to constantly talk to people or having to constantly portray yourself in front of people and put your best self forward. And this is a problem because almost every single endeavor that I want to accomplish in my life is in the public eye. It's all to do with being perceived publicly. Like, I am pursuing an English degree, I'm pursuing a film degree, I am running a business that is slowly but surely getting its start off the ground. I am trying to do content creation to build a portfolio for my film degree, and all of these things require interacting with people, right? All of these things require putting yourself out there, putting yourself in the public eye, at the mercy of your viewers, right? All of this requires being open to criticism, being open to people seeing you and seeing you for who you are fully and wholly without anything to hide behind, right? Because you can hide behind a lot of things. You can hide behind a screen, you can hide behind a book when you're writing a book, you can hide behind the words that you're saying, you can hide behind essays, and you can hide behind so many things, but what you cannot hide behind is your own body and your own like facial expressions and your own expressions of self. And that is a very daunting thing to have to deal with, because if you're like me and you've always been afraid of expressing yourself, and if you've always been a bit too much of a people pleaser to the point of I would rather keep everything about myself bottled down and hidden away from you if it makes you like me more than express any bit of my interests for fear of you hating that part of me or rejecting that part of me. Because a big part of this is a fear of rejection, right? You don't want to be rejected, right? Nobody wants to be rejected. It's a horrible feeling. Like, it's you giving yourself to this job or this opportunity or this person, and having that given back really stings, and it can really leave a lasting impact and lasting impression on you. And I can understand why I'm so reluctant to put myself out there again. And it's because a lot of times where I have put myself forward as the most authentic expression of myself, I've had that given back to me almost immediately afterward. It's like all of my efforts are given back immediately after I've shown my authentic self. However, I think part of that is also because when you entered into these relationships or these situations or these opportunities initially, you weren't being yourself authentically. So the person that has accepted this outward expression of you, they are perceiving you to be this persona that you put forward, right? They're perceiving you to be this, let's say, this cool girl persona, or this really just laid back, chill, accepting side of yourself, when in reality you're just like a nervous wreck all the time. Like you always, mascara's running down your face, your hair's a mess, you haven't showered in like 6 days. That's a dichotomy that people aren't really expecting if you consistently manufacture a version of yourself that you're putting forward. Because they're not expecting this other side of you, it can be really jarring to suddenly see you become authentic. And additionally, it might also trigger them their own wounds surrounding authenticity and how they feel about themselves if you decide that you're going to stop pretending, you're going to stop putting a mask on, and you're going to be your most authentic self. And that can be really, really jarring for a lot of people, because a lot of people hide behind this safety mask that they put on, and they don't want to even consider taking that off, because taking off the mask that you've built specifically to be around people, it takes so much readiness and it takes so much vulnerability to even begin authentically displaying yourself. And yet it feels so much more freeing when you finally do. It feels like a liberation, it feels healing, it feels safe. And you won't get that feeling with manufactured authenticity, because you can fake how you feel all you want. At the end of the day, you're still alone by yourself at the end of the night. And no matter what happens in your life, consistently, the only person that you will always have around you is yourself. Consistently, the only person that you will constantly be spending time with is yourself. And if you hate yourself so much, if you hate everything about yourself, if you hate the way you look, the way you think, the way you speak, if you hate how you sound to other people, if you hate how you act around other people, if you despise everything about yourself, it's no wonder you're going to be miserable at the end of the day. It's a very lonely feeling when you don't even like yourself. Because if you don't like yourself, then you can't really expect other people to like you. Even if you think you expect other people to like you, deep down, you're always going to have this voice in the back of your head saying, yeah, but I'm too much for them anyway. Yeah, but if they knew how I really was, then they're just going to leave as soon as they find out. Or, yeah, but I know that this is going to end one day anyway, so I shouldn't really get attached to this person. And on that note, I think attachment is very important to be authentic in and to be vulnerable in. Like, in today's world, I know there's a big emphasis on hookup culture, and cannot say I've partaken. I really cannot. I have not dated anyone in my almost 20 years of being. Just haven't really had that interest. No one's interested me romantically yet. So when that time comes, we'll see how it goes. But it's so scary to be yourself in relationships, especially, and in any kind of relationships. Friendships, romantic relationships, familial relationships. Although with family it is a bit easier to be yourself, because you know that even if they do end up leaving, they can't really leave you behind completely, because no matter how bad your relationship with your family is, there's always just this stubborn little thing in the back of your head that just will not accept anything other than you remembering who your blood belongs to. And that makes it a little bit easier in a way. It makes it easier in a way to be authentic and to be yourself, to a certain degree anyway. Just because you can't truly ever leave your blood behind. And there's a certain level of safety that comes with family, even if it isn't immediate family. It can be extended family as well, or adopted family, or chosen family. Family inherently begets. Family itself inherently just begets a certain amount of safety, and I think that's very important for building up that muscle for being authentic. But with friendships and relationships, I think it's a bit harder. I think that putting yourself out there as who you are unapologetically, entirely, with no regrets or no reservations on who you are and your character and everything about you, basically, like your passions, what you like, whether it's cringe or not, you know, all of that is so daunting, like, to even think about sharing with other people. And I don't think it should be, in the sense that you can be scared out of your mind to start a new friendship or a new relationship. And you can be so scared to talk to people, like I am. And yet I still think it's extremely important to be vulnerable. Vulnerable with your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts. And the reason for that is because when we're vulnerable upfront, when we express ourselves authentically from the beginning, it makes it so much easier to find people that we really connect with, rather than having to go through months and months or years of this friendship that you have with people that you don't really resonate with, or that you can enjoy being around, but at the end of the day, when you're alone and by yourself, you can't really hide this feeling of emptiness, or this feeling that something's missing from your life, and you cannot seem to figure out what it is. And the thing that's missing is just connection and people that you resonate with, you know? Resonating with people is so important, and I think it's like, if you know anything about what you're meant for, it's that what you're meant for will not leave you alone, no matter how hard you try. Like, it'll always be in the back of your mind, just waiting for you to listen to it, for you to go forward with it. I can share an example of that with myself. And so I was a psychology major last year for my first semester, and the moment I sat down for the introductory lecture, before we even chose our majors for psychology, I knew that that was not what I wanted. It was not anywhere close to what I wanted for right now, let alone the rest of my life. I would hate myself if I went into psychology. And I chose to go with it anyway because I had a certain view of what my life was going to be like, of what other people expected of me for my life to be like. And even though I had this mindset of I'm not going to do what other people tell me to do in my university career just because they want me to do it, I still ended up doing that subconsciously. because at the back of my mind, I was like, but I need security in what I'm doing. I need a job that's going to be secure. I need to know that I'll be okay even if even if I'm going through a rough time, I'll be okay because my job will support me. It's not fluctuating, it's not going away. It's a solid career option. Except I hated every minute of it. I didn't take one psychology class that semester, mind you. I did not get high enough in my mathematics in high school because I was a math lit student, okay? I was a math lit student. I did not take pure mathematics. I did not hate myself enough to. I took about 2 terms of pure mathematics in grade 10 and I hated it so much, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I could not do it for the life of me. It's not that I hate math either, it's just every time I try to do math, no matter how well I know the formulas, if you give me a simple formula, like not even a simple formula, I can do more complex formulas as well. But the moment you add in number sequences that are a little bit too long, or number sequences that include lots of letters, and just they have like quadratic equations with big numbers and a lot of like letters, I get so confused because no matter how good my formula is, I always end up messing up the numbers, and I don't know, this is a very off-topic tangent. It's just, it makes me so frustrated because I love physics, right? I really love physics and I love chemistry and I love everything about it. It's just so interesting to me, and I would have loved to do physics so badly. I just cannot do a single thing of math to save my life. Anyway, moving on. So I ended up just switching in my second semester from a psychology major to a film major. It's shot in the dark, honestly. I did not attend a single film lecture before this. I did not really have any friends that took film because I don't talk to people at university. It was completely chosen over vibes. I had no reason for choosing film. I just wanted to, and I did. And I've been so happy with that choice ever since. Best choice I've ever made in my university life, honestly. Best choice ever. I love my film class so much. It's so entertaining and it's so intellectually stimulating as well. I just love learning new things, and I love learning things of something that I knew nothing about. And film class really does that for me, and so does my English major. My English major is a little harder, I will say, just because the texts are a little, Old English is just the bane of my existence to read in one sitting. But anyway, while we're talking about my curriculum, ancient mythology. Amazing class. I love that class so much. The moment I signed up for it, I knew I was going to love it, but oh my gosh, I love ancient mythology so much because I'm already a mythology nerd, right? And just something about ancient mythology, oh my gosh, the information, the stories, it's just beautiful. And it's amazing that I'm taking this class because now it gives me background information on the book that I'm writing. And yes, I am writing a book. I'm writing 2 actually, and I have 1 short story in my vault. So, yeah. The moral of this story, of this very long tangent-esque story, is authenticity. And being who you authentically are to yourself first and foremost. You do not have to express it to other people if you're not comfortable with that yet. Like, I am very uncomfortable with even just being in public spaces. I've mentioned this earlier, this video, this isn't. I'm very uncomfortable in public spaces. I'm very uncomfortable expressing myself to people. I'm very uncomfortable just existing in a public space, in a public eye, with people being able to even see me, let alone view me, let alone hear my opinions on things. Why I started a YouTube channel then? You may be wondering then why I started a YouTube channel if I'm afraid of all of these things. That is basically the exact thing you need to do to start a YouTube channel. And the answer is, I want to stop being afraid of these things. I want to get over these fears. It's basically just exposure therapy. I started this YouTube channel for exposure therapy, and I started my other YouTube channel as a portfolio. I needed somewhere to upload videos for practice on how to film, how to edit, how to write, just things like that. I want to really start practicing screen production, and this is just a really good way to do that, even if I have absolutely no budget. I think that I've been yapping for very much far too long. I could keep going though. I could keep going, but I think that's enough for now. So I hope you're having an amazing day, night, whenever you're seeing this, and I hope you continue to join me for my little tangents and rants and just YouTube videos that are coming soon. Proper videos, not just rant sessions. I hope you enjoyed. If not, that's cool too. Don't have to be a cup of tea. Yeah. Okay, bye!